Welcome to this next video on FMINDK47, so the Forge Motorsport induction kit for the Audi RS3 8V, 8Y, left-hand drive, right-hand drive. So this is going to be the first time you're seeing the full kit. So what myself, Tom and colleague Luke, thought we'd go through and just explain what you're actually getting with the kit and what it's going to mean. So what you can see here is everything that arrives with you. So it allows you to have a few different capabilities depending on what stage of modification your Audi currently is. The main part of the action here is going to be the carbon fibre you can see here. So this beautiful free-flowing, I'm just going to pause and I'm going to go again. So this beautiful free-flowing carbon fibre you can see here is the main part of FMINDK47. So what it's going to allow you to do is to go from the 6-inch pleated filter all the way down towards where the turbo is going to be. And then depending on what setup you currently have, we can supply some different ways for you to connect it up. So what you're going to get with the kit is a 3.5 and a 4-inch coupler. So the 4-inch allows you to go to your massive turbo inlets on the left-hand drive vehicles where they can fit it in. And your 3.5 inch is about as big as you're going to get on the right-hand drive market, and allows you to go down to your stock with another coupler which we can supply, or you can go down to INLH9, which is another one of our products, which again is a little bit bigger than your stock turbo inlet and is silicone as well. Again, connects straight into it. The other side of the puzzle is going to be connecting it up. So obviously everything's supplied from that side of things, so all fasteners, hose clamps, and any of your connecting tubing, and then your sheet metal. So obviously the biggest thing with these engines is going to be the heats coming out of it. So with this, obviously it's going to make sure that you're getting enough of the air in, connecting up to the factory inlets path, as well as a little bit extra on the side to make sure it's not being too restrictive, which is a major thing we found during the testing phase. And obviously it's then sealing off the majority of it to the heat in the engine bay.
So this is, it's been laser cut and folded on a press brake, and then skillfully welded by one of our fabricators in-house at Gloucester HQ. The composite, okay, so that's pre-pregnated carbon fibre. So how it's been formed is with a billet tool in an autoclave oven. That makes sure that the strength and longevity is there in the part. There's no worries about fatigue, blistering from heat, etc. And of course, with all of our products, they come with a lifetime guarantee. One other little bit I did just want to touch base on is, yes, it's a pleated filter. It's made, okay, from, rather than being cotton, it's actually polyurethane. What that means in turn is it's completely washable, lifetime guarantee on that, which is great. Also comes with a silicone joiner to either mount to your stock inlet, or as Tom has mentioned, 3.5, which then mounts to another product of ours, which we're going to come on to very, very shortly. The silicone hose is to reroute the PCV. What we found on the design stage was, instead of having the inlets on the carbon fibre here, because of the size of this, it just meant for a bit of a messy install. So we've included this, as Tom mentioned. Everything here that you see, it basically just comes with a full set of comprehensive instructions, ready to plug and play, 100% reversible, which of course means if you want to take the car back to a dealership, or in the future you want to sell it on, you can put it back to stock. Brilliant, just super stoked. Tom mentions here, which in the design phase was essential, we did try to run it with just an open cone without the ducting on the front, but certainly on road testing and data logging, this part was a must for heat soak.
So now that you've seen the full kit here in front of us, let's get it installed onto the beautiful RS3 we have behind us.
No, whoa. Get this that we also wanted to share with you. Okay, thank you, Tom. I nearly forgot about that. So this is a previous product that we made, I'd say probably 6 years ago. However, in conjunction with the intake, it works very, very well. And this is our product, FMINDK47, stock inlet elbow. This is cast aluminium. So the benefits of this is silicone, so very little heat soak. Cast aluminium, lots of heat soak. Tom's gonna sort of show you, you can see the size comparison, there's lots of difference there. On the inlet to the turbo, this is the key. So why 4 adapters? 4 adapters, the reason why we've got these is the silver one, it does come in anodized black, but that is to represent the stock turbo adapter. And then the other 3, which can be chosen on the drop-down menu on the website, If you have a hybrid turbo from the turbo engineers, so that's TTE turbochargers, we've got an adapter for the 625, we've got an adapter for the 700, and we've also got an adapter for the TTE 777. These two products combined, they are going to cater for cars up to 800 horsepower. Highly recommend that you run both together. Can be purchased separately, depending on your budget and depending on where you are with the state of tune of the vehicle presently. Available from our website. Like we say, this silicone is actually basically an iron oxide lining, which prevents heat and fatigue. So yeah.
Let's get it on.
Let's get it on.
That's
Let's
enough.
get on. We've said enough.
Let's do it.
And welcome back to another installation video from Forge Motorsport. Today we are going to continue with the fitment of FMINDK47. That's the new composite induction kit for the RS3, 8V and 8Y. There's a few things that we need to remove to get the induction kit installed. First of all, you're going to need to remove the front inlet scoop. You're then going to be able to remove the engine cover. You'll need to remove the airbox itself, along with the stock inlet hose and the PCV breather there. So first thing I'm going to do is simply remove the engine cover, and I do that just by pulling in an upwards motion nice and sharply. That's then going to come away from situ. There we have, I'm going to put that somewhere safe. I'm now going to use a T25 Torx drive, and that's to remove the two fasteners here at the front. Then I'll be able to just pull the inlet scoop out. Remember to keep all of your fasteners in one place. I recommend putting them in a little bag or cardboard box, something like that, because you're going to need to reuse these when the inlet scoop goes back into situ. So now I can push that away from the front slam panel and remove the scoop. Again, put that somewhere nice and safe. Now I need to remove the airbox, but firstly, the best thing to do is to remove these two hose clamps. We use a 7mm hose clamp drive to remove these. There is something that's missing already, and that would be the recirc pipe from the DV. The reason why it's not here at this moment is because we do have another Forge Motorsport product fitted there, and that's the high flow dump valve, and that's FMDV7, just for your reference. So the first one would be to remove this here. Loosen the hose clamp. Next thing would be to remove the PCV breather there. So simply depress the two tabs. Once you've depressed those two tabs, you can pull it away from situ. I then go on to using a T30. T30 is to remove a fastener here that holds this pipe in position. So from around the back, take that out. So now that's been removed from here, I can pull this one away, okay, from the airbox. The standard hose clamp I'd also remove from here. That's normally like a spring clip. It's actually been removed already, so I can now just remove the stock inlet pipe. Again, put that away, nice and safe. Next is going to be the airbox. Okay, so I don't need to undo the lid. That would be used with a T25 to remove the lid, but instead, again, I'm going to pull in an upwards motion quite sharply, and that's going to remove the airbox there from the rubber grommets. Now, two of these rubber grommets are going to need to be reinstalled into the intake tray, the Forge Motorsport K47 intake tray. So I simply pull those out of the airbox. 1, 2. Again, put this somewhere nice and safe. So we've got our CNC lasered and folded aluminium airbox. It's been welded by one of our fabricators at Gloucester HQ. Simply reusing the original rubber grommets there, pushing them into the airbox. They can be tight. You can use a little bit of lubrication to put those in. Don't be afraid to use Luke Lube, but today I'm just going in dry. There we go. So they're fitted in situ, two off. Now I'm going to align these to the pegs here in the airbox and simply push that down into situ. Okay, there is a bracket on the front here for the gearbox breather. However, on this vehicle, the gearbox breather has been fastened to the front of the slam panel here. It's up to you. The bracket's there in case you need it. Alternatively, you can just fix it on the slam panel there. So that's that in position. As you can see, we do have our inlet elbow already fitted to this vehicle. That's FMINDK47. Now we need to put the composite part into the engine bay there. So I'm going to grab that. So our carbon fibre, I'm going to insert it into this end. Can be a bit tricky to get that in. We're just going to roughly rest that into position. So that's now rested in the engine bay there, inserted into the turbo elbow. Here's a small cable tie that you need to release, and that is going to enable you to move this PCV breather out of the way. And you can look at this, and these are use once only clips. So what we do need to do is cut this clip off. Sometimes you can get a flathead screwdriver in there and pry the clip open. What I would recommend is do take care when you're removing this. What we don't want to do is break the plastic spout that's beneath that, because we are going to need to install the supplied silicone vacuum hose that is then going to run from the PCV to this port here on the intake. Okay, so I'm just going to get some snips and cut that off. So some good sharp snips, because you're going to need to be coming into the clip here, right? Okay, across the clip. So you come across the clip and you can cut through them, okay? Careful with your fingers, because these might be sharp, so I've got some gloves on. Bend the clip back, and then now that's released, it comes away from situ, look, okay? Again, keep that somewhere nice and safe, put that with the rest of the OEM components. So the supplied vacuum hose, you're gonna place onto the PCV there. Again, get your snips. It does come a little over length, so you can cut it yourself. That looks about right. And then simply push that into situ. Now, don't worry if it's a little bit too long. You can always snip that back if you need to. So your recirc ports would now be installed from the OEM valve or from the Forge Motorsport valve if it's set up as recirculating. In this instance, it's not. It's been set up atmospherically. So if this product is installed, it does come with a bung, okay, and a Forge Motorsport hose. And what you're going to do with that is you're going to simply put it over the recirc port in the intake. That can be quite hard to get on, so again, use some lubrication if you need to. I'm now going to go and fit the filter onto the end of the intake. So here it is, Forge treated high flow filter. So loosen the filter, the clamp, slide the filter into the box, slide the clamp round to the top. What we want to do, okay, is we're just going to pull that intake back as if it's bolted in position. We're going to just check for some clearance here at the front to make sure that the filter's not rubbing on the airbox. Moving the hose clamp round to one side just so it's neater. I put the worm drive here, which just makes for a more aesthetically pleasing installation. So we recommend that you don't do up the hose clamp to more than 2.2 Newton meters. That's to ensure that the carbon doesn't crack. Now, I'm not actually going to measure that with a torque wrench, because I've fitted many a composite part. I know that's not going to come away now. I haven't over tightened it. Just be cautious when you are doing the set. Now we're nearly at the end of the installation. Okay, we're going to fit the M6 fastener. Now that's an Allen cap, and it comes with a penny washer and a spring washer. So first of all we do the spring washer, then the penny washer. What we've got is I've put the M6 fastener in, and I've done that up hand tight. It's not fully tight. What you've got there is you've basically got a keyway, so the intake can move up and it can move down slightly. So before I tighten that fully, I'm going to go around to the other side of the vehicle, and I'm going to attach the hose clamp here to the inlet junction of the turbo. So now I can slide the hose clamp. Now we've got the hose clamp in the correct position. I can give this bit of a jiggle there. All right. Again, just for neatness of installation, I'm going to put it so the worm drive is more towards the rear there. Start to tighten that one up.
Right, once it starts biting onto the silicone, adjust it nicely, follows the trim line on the hose, and then fully tighten. Okay, now I'm going to go back and tighten up the M6 fastener down here. So M6 fastener onto the ratchet, your hand round the back. Once I'm located and I'm happy with that, okay, I'm then going to push down on the inlet pipe. That's to give as much clearance here to the scuttle. Make sure that one's nice and tight. You can see now we've nearly finished the installation. There's just 2 more things to do. So we're going to get 2 of the cable ties that are provided to fasten around these 2 junctions here from the PCV. Simply put the cable tie around, tighten up the cable tie behind the swage on the pipe, and again onto the piece of carbon. Okay, so they're now tightened. I'm going to snip the tails off. 1, 2, and then the final and the last bit of the installation now, we're happy with all of this, is to fit the front inlet scoop. So we go down at an angle, slide it into the aperture on the Forge airbox. Now this can be quite tight, you've got to push it back a little bit there. Okay. Now that's rested, back in position. And we're going to reinstall our 2 fasteners into the front here with a T25. So in the right hand side, viewed from the front, and into the left. Last bit, engine cover on, and there we have it, FMINDK47 by Forge Motorsport for the RS3, 8V and 8Y.